Well, hello, Facebook friends. We're glad that you're joining us. This is the Barriers and Breakthroughs show, and it is Wednesday evening at 7 p.m. And I am Rochelle Painbaum, your pain whisperer. Yes, I'm a physical therapist, and I like to help people fix their pain. So if you have pain, you can get on Facebook and message me, and I would love to help you out. I've done it for 30 years, and there's simple things that we can do to help you save money and not have to go to the doctor, or I can help you know whether you should go to the doctor or not. So that's partly why we do this program, is so I can help you fix your pain. The Barriers and Breakthrough program is also a show to help show people and special guests that will help teach other people what resources there are and share their story with you of the barriers they've had and the breakthroughs that have helped them overcome their challenges and barriers. And so we're going to have a great guest today. This is Laurie Gray, and she is the founder of the PATH program, and I'm going to have her explain a little bit about what she does. I see that our friend Byron Carter is on. Thanks, Byron, for joining us. Hopefully you'll learn a little bit more. He's a great networker in the community.
And good to know.
Yeah, he does health insurance and secondary supplemental insurance. So thanks, Byron. We also have a sponsor. Let me just share that right with you, Racer's Edge Hand Car Wash. And if you are listening today, you can go to Racer's Edge and let them know that you joined us on the Barriers and Breakthrough show. They'll give you a free hand deluxe car wash. So can't beat that. Racer's Edge, 1980 Country Place Parkway. So thank you for sponsoring us, Racer's Edge. So let's turn it over to Laurie. She's just really an amazing person in the Pearland community. You were born here. Let's just,
I was. I actually moved here when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Very different town than what it is now.
Okay. Not quite born here, I'm sorry, but you grew up here.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But I will say this, it doesn't matter how large the town becomes, how big the population is, it is a very tight-knit community. A community that always comes together when someone is in need, and that will kind of roll me into explaining how the PATH Foundation came about.
Yeah.
Because of that mindset of this very remarkable and special community. Growing up here, again, there weren't that many of us when we grew up here, but we were kind of always taught through the Pearland Neighborhood Center to give back to the community. As I reached adulthood, I still noticed that a lot of the other people that I grew up here with, we were very involved in Little League, PTAs, things around the community. In 2005, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I had stage 2 breast cancer. My kids were very young. I was a part of many boards.
At the time?
Volunteer boards here in Pearland. To say the community came together for us, and that was before social media. I mean, email was still kind of a newbie then.
Yeah.
I mean, meals, my kids' rides to school, it was phenomenal. And when I survived that, I really and truly out loud said, I will always give back to this community. I will probably never leave. That still stands.
I've been here for almost 20 years.
Right.
I love Pearland too.
So I said, I'm going to give back. And the first benefit that I ever gave was for a family that had 3 school-age kids, a very ill mother and father. Again, the community came together. It was the first one that we kind of did. We figured it out. And for the next several years after that, it just unfortunately seemed like there was someone in the community that fell ill and needed a little extra money, and we would give these benefits. And a friend of mine and I discussed the fact that one day, we needed to form a foundation that did 1 or 2 large fundraisers a year, and they were able to help all throughout the year with people instead of having to use every resource every time to give these benefits that we had. And something that I was always very proud of was the amount of young people that I've always had. I taught my 2 sons, Jordan and Josh, about community service, giving back to this community. And because I was a second mom to all their friends, those kids were told to do it as well. And they grew up giving back to the community.
Yeah. That is so awesome. I mean, that takes something, it says a lot about you, in my opinion, that, somebody has breast cancer and is very devastating, and then people help, but then the first thing you do is like look to help somebody else.
Yep.
I mean, that's really that's great. I really appreciate you taking that to heart, and that says a lot about your character. So
well, thank you.
Really great.
To me, I'm just the type of person that when I hear that someone is in need, it's okay. What can we do? There has to be something, that we can do.
That's what makes Pearland great, is people like Laurie. So,
and again, I've said before, especially us lifelong Pearlanders, we're an interesting group. We grew up here together. We may not even all like each other a lot of the times, but when one of us is in need, there's just no question how they come together. Unfortunately, I found my family and I found ourselves in a terrible situation in 2016. My son Josh was 17 at the time, and he passed away January 12th, 2016. It was very unexpected. It was due to splenic aneurysm that was caused by a vascular disease that can never be detected.
Yeah, Josh was actually a friend of my son. But can you explain, I mean, this might be a little personal, but can you explain like what happened the day you found out, and exactly like the details? Because I didn't know the details. If you feel comfortable sharing that, I don't know.
In case you haven't noticed, I'm not a very private person, but of course, no, Josh.
I can't imagine getting the phone call. I don't know.
It was like any other day. Obviously, the kids had only been back to school for a week since the Christmas break. Mm-hmm. It was on a Tuesday. He sent me a couple of text messages saying that he had a stomach ache and that maybe I needed to come pick him up. So I actually sent Jordan, my older son, to pick him up. In the meantime, the nurse called me and said that his condition was much worse, and she had called an ambulance to come pick him up. Okay. Thanks to the nurse at Dawson High School, I was able to get there in time and ride to Texas Children's Hospital with Josh.
So it was bad, yeah.
I think initially appendicitis is what everyone thought, and things just progressed very quickly. They never could get his vitals stable enough to be able to do a CAT scan to find out what was going on. And unfortunately, within about an hour and a half of arriving at the hospital, he passed away.
Oh my goodness.
He had a very large group of friends, and one of his very good friends, her mother, ended up being the nurse there with him. So I was thankful for that. And Richard, my ex-husband, and Jordan and I were able to be there the whole time with him, and it was very devastating.
Like you wake up and then all of a sudden your son's gone.
You wake up and your life is forever changed, along with, as I found out as the days progressed, the lives of so many people that he touched. While he was here, he really and truly had that giving spirit and was a very giving person. And as the days, weeks, months went on, finally a group of friends of mine came over and said, now is the time to start that foundation that we talked about. And we want to include a Josh Gray Memorial Scholarship Fund in that. And the work that we do with PATH is the very epitome of what Josh wanted, especially children in need were a big passion of his. And
well, you sent me some pictures, so can we show some of those pictures, like
sure,
of some of what Josh did, like picture number 1, I think that's Josh and Jordan, right?
It is. And it's funny, I remember the actual date of this. It's February 27th, and it would have been Jordan's 20th birthday.
Okay.
The last birthday that he was able to celebrate with his brother. But the reason I know the exact date of the picture is the T-shirt that Josh has on. It was a T-shirt that was created by Kozas, JT and Janet, because they started a scholarship fund for a student, Falabe, that had passed away in 2013. He was friends with my older son of an undetected disease, and Josh on February 27th every year after that made sure that he wore that shirt in remembrance of Falabe.
Wow, that is so nice. Okay, I mean, Josh was just, I mean, obviously he took after you, like just a very caring person.
He really was. The Susan G. Komen race was something that became, it became a true, started out as kind of a family affair and became a big part of our community. We won the largest friends and family team for the Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure for 8 years in a row.
Wow.
And then the year after, Josh passed one more time, and we did it in remembrance of him. The first year that I did it, I didn't even realize that they did teams. I had no clue what I was doing. And when I found out there was a contest, I was like, well, surely we can win that. And our largest team, we had 250 people just on our team, mainly from this Pearland community. And again, I was always so proud of the amount of young people, Jordan and Josh's friends. And you had to come up with a team name. And we were big Star Wars fans. And Jordan and Josh came up with May the Cure Be With You.
Oh, nice.
So every year the t-shirts had Darth Vader and May the Cure Be With You. So that awesome. First Saturday in October,
I would have picked your team to win too.
It was just it was a phenomenal day. Every year, first Saturday in October, we got together. We did the race. We raised a lot of money. We went to a team lunch, and the young kids look forward to it. My friends look forward to it. And it was just very powerful. There's a survivor path that you walk down, and I had 250 of my closest friends standing there every year cheering me on to walk down that survivor path. And that
is so awesome.
That was a very important day to me always. It really was.
Yeah. My sister has breast cancer. She got diagnosed a year and a half ago with stage 4. So I'm like, she's out of state, so she's not here. But yeah, I would love to do something like that for her.
It's right.
You can help me.
Yes.
Okay, so the next picture.
The next picture was a benefit my friend Kathy Garcia and I gave for our friend that had suffered cancer for about 10 years. Mm-hmm. And her name's Tammy, and we were Tammys Angels. And so we,
cool.
Tammy's Troopers, Tammys Angels. And so, of course, again, who worked at that benefit, who volunteered, my kids, their friends.
Yeah. That's so great. I mean, they're just
those very successful.
Here's a picture of Josh.
Boy Scouts. He was a great little Boy Scout boy. He could sell those spaghetti dinner tickets at the Kroger parking lot like nobody's business. He really could. He could.
Okay, what's the next picture?
Now, the next picture is a picture of the invitation. When we formed PATH, we decided that we would do a once-a-year gala, and that would be our big event that hopefully would raise enough money to sustain us for at least a year to be able to give the scholarships and help people throughout the year. So the first gala that we did was a Great Gatsby theme. We raised over $20,000 in our first year.
Awesome.
It was, I think there were 350 people that attended, all dressed in their flapper costumes,
man, that's
and
fun.
it was wonderful.
Great. So explain a little bit right now, like how do you use the funds that people come? How does that work for Pearland? I mean, because that's what it's meant to do, is help in Pearland.
It is. And in PATH, we have been in existence for 2.5 years now, and we are very much learning as we go. We're all volunteers on the board, but basically we have an application, and someone can fill it out on their own behalf, or someone can fill it out on their friend, their relative's behalf. The main requests that we get are emergency situations. Maybe someone that's just been diagnosed with cancer. They don't have insurance. They need to get an initial deposit to the hospital. Or unfortunately, we've lost a lot of Pearlanders in the past 2 years. And funeral expenses, it's not something that you plan for, especially if it's for a young person. I've noticed, and it's something that needs to be paid up front if you don't have life insurance. And we've been able to help out in situations such as that. So we, our vice president is in charge of taking the application. We meet as a board, we discuss it, we see how much money we have, and we're able to cut them a check pretty quickly. So not yet, we do not have the funds to maybe make a miracle happen. It's coming though. But right now we do make a difference in those immediate needs right there at the beginning. And other than financial needs, we've done things is get people's house clean when they're sick, or their house painted, take their kids to school, mow their grass. So we're not just a financial, we want to be here to support the community. It's PATH, Pearlanders Always There to help. Pearlanders supporting Pearlanders in whatever way that we can.
That's awesome. That's really great. I mean, the other thing too is the organization, since they're volunteers, you know, like some nonprofits, they take half the money for themselves, and like that's really amazing that you just donate your time and
we
dedicate to help.
We have a wonderful group.
Obviously,
that's been on board, and I think everyone's just very passionate about helping others.
Yeah, you don't find communities like this everywhere you go.
No, you don't.
Okay, so let's see. Explain. I guess you did a prom for one of the years.
We did. Our second gala was an 80s prom, so some of us were reliving our heyday that night together.
Okay, now I wondered about all these pictures. These were your teams, right?
Those were some of the teams as the teams grew larger every year. The T-shirts were always a big deal, the new T-shirt color for every year, and the team photo was all of these sweet, wonderful 200 plus people that got up at 5 in the morning to go downtown Houston and have me blow a whistle and yell at them to get them corralled for the ever important team picture. Yes.
That's awesome. Oh, well, you're a great leader. So, okay, here's another picture. This is at Dawson. Josh. This was
Josh, and in a large part of his friend group, they got inducted in the National Honor Society that night. It was their sophomore year of high school. Every single one of those kids in that picture have volunteered for me, and that was a big part of their application for the National Honor Society is what do you do to volunteer here at Dawson High School, but also outside. And boy, those kids had long list because Miss Laurie had them volunteering for most of their life.
Yeah, yes. I know a lot of these kids here that go to the school. They're great kids. Okay, team picture, right? All right, explain the one with the all of you in the black shirts.
So the kids had a teacher at Barry Miller Junior High, Miss Williams, in 8th grade, and her aunt had breast cancer and her father had cancer, and she was very involved in the Relay for Life. The Pasadena chapter.
Oh, okay.
And so Josh and this group of kids went for her, and I was proud to walk with her aunt and her father as well. A funny thing about that night, and there are pictures to prove it, they wanted 2 of the males on each team to dress as female to go around and help raise money, to dress and drag. And Josh and Austin Hurst very willingly dressed in drag and did a dance, and they raised the most money that night of the whole place for cancer research. So that was great.
That's awesome. Okay, this is
that is Richard, Josh, Jordan, and myself. That unfortunately was our last Christmas together, the last photo we all had taken together.
Yeah, right before. Okay. Let's go to the very last one, Statue of Liberty. That was such a cute picture. That was when you went to
New York. I did. Madsen was part of my group on my bus of kids. We chaperoned 84 8th graders in Washington, D.C. and New York City. New York City's not been the same since. The Pearland kids went there, but yes, that was, I was very fortunate to get to chaperone that trip and be there with Josh.
Yeah, no, my son Madsen loved that trip. It was just something he had
Madsen,
so much fun.
I remember very clearly, had a very good time in the candy department of FAO Schwartz.
Oh,
in fact, the bus was waiting for Madsen to finish his candy shopping at FAO
like
Schwartz.
One of my kids. Yeah, probably because he couldn't figure out what he wanted to get. So.
Right. It was awesome. a big candy store.
Yeah.
There was a lot of choices.
That's great. So tell me a little bit about how can somebody, well, tell me about the upcoming project that we have, because I'm going to try and help people know. I'd love to sponsor as well, but there's this year's gala, right?
It is our event. I'm going to put my Path Santa hat on, because we are not raising money for Path. We are raising money to be able to give the holiday giving project, which will take place on December 22nd. We are so fortunate that our friends at the KC Hall here in Pearland have given us the use of the hall.
Okay, so it's at the KC Hall
on December 22nd. Yeah. This time last year, Path was doing a toy drive. Okay. And we were working with the school district on where to distribute our toys. And I was told at that point, the high numbers in the hundreds of children that we have right here in our own school district of Pearland that are considered homeless, or they are in major financial straits, them and their families. And I thought, wow, I feel like we're competing with every business to do toy drives and figure out where to send these toys. Let's take this up a notch. What can we do for these families to really make them feel part of the community, that we have their back and that we care about them? And that's where the Holiday Giving Project came from. So basically what we are doing is the KC Hall will be decorated to the nines, full of holiday spirit. The families will come and enjoy what I like to call super food court, which is about 10 of our best restaurants here in Pearland. We'll be offering them food samplings of their favorite dishes. Santa will be there. Every child will see Santa. They will get a gift from Santa. There'll be a hot chocolate booth, a lot of different things to do there. And on their way out, they will also take home a to-go meal. They have a ham from Boar's Head, and Killen Steakhouse will be making all the sides to go with it and have it packed up. Awesome. It is a great day, and again, it's been a year in the making. The way that families got invited, it is by invitation only. And the way that families got invited was through the school district. The student outreach program got together and they sent out 300 to 400 invitations. And we're also working with the Pearland Neighborhood Center. So we get the families that are in need, and they know that their household is invited there. We're in the process of taking their RSVPs, so we know exactly who we're going to be hosting that day. And we just want them to come for a couple of hours and not have to worry about what's going on. It is a fun day. It is all for them. It is all an entire give back project.
What a great
idea. The number
idea.
of volunteers is overwhelming. We could still use some sponsorships to help us keep providing for them that day. Again, they'll be fed. They'll all take home a Santa picture. There'll be entertainment, but it's just never quite enough for Laurie Gray. I was kind of told at the beginning.
Notch it up.
I was kind of told in the beginning, for the first year, you're kind of reaching, you're going a little too far. And that was the wrong thing to say, because it can never be too much. I'm an over-the-top, overboard person, and I love to give. And this is the best way, I think, that I, as a mother, that PATH is an organization, and that the rest of the community can honor Josh at the holidays. He loved Christmas. He loved doing for others. The people that we're working with in the student outreach were Josh's teachers. He's really the driving force. Most of the volunteers we get have that Josh connection. So again, I can't think of a better way to help our community and honor my child than what we're doing on December 22nd.
Well, that's what he'd want you to do. Like, you could probably feel the spirit of Josh,
He is definitely the driving force behind it. So. Yes, ma'am.
That's awesome. That's so inspiring. So if I want to help, you do need volunteers still? Like, how do we
need volunteers. Okay. We do have a website. We have a Facebook page. Cindy Ellis, our board member, is in charge of the volunteers. She has a sign-up genius going on right now. We need elves to hand out presents, people to serve food, hot chocolate makers. We need it all for that day.
Is there a certain age limit? Like, if your kids want to participate, like I have high schoolers, but what's the age limit to help volunteer?
Actually, you have to be out of high school to volunteer, because of the sensitive nature of who we're helping. It is just best for all that you be out of high school, and then to any age. You can be from any community if you would like to come over to our community of Pearland and help out, and maybe get the idea to start a PATH or a holiday giving project for your own community. Every community needs it.
Great idea. Okay. So if you're out of high school, and you can also sponsor, like if you're a business.
If you're a business, we're taking corporate sponsorships. We have different sponsorship levels, going from $100 all the way up to $2,500, $3,000. And again, the money goes to help pay for the hams. It helps pay for the decorations, the entertainment, the Santa pictures. you know, in the more sponsors we have, the more things that we can offer these kids that
right.
day.
And the great thing about the Pearland community is you use the businesses of the people in the community.
We do.
So they can contribute and people can see what's out there too. And
that's right.
Help.
All of these restaurants that are helping us are doing it out of the goodness of their hearts.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it just takes that one person to kind of get the idea and really say, I'm going to spearhead this, I'm going to put it together. And everybody has that giving spirit in them, especially in the Pearland community. So they made it pretty easy.
That is so great. I'm inspired by that. So, and every year you're going to be doing it as well.
Yes, right? Hopefully this is the first of many annual holiday giving programs. Okay. We will have a golf tournament. Path will sponsor a golf tournament sometime in March or April. Okay. And then our galas have been in April. Okay. It is a bad month for that because you have proms, you have graduation. Yeah. So our next gala will be in the September, October area of 2019. Yes. Okay. Yes. Good. So we'll have a golf tournament in the spring, and that will help us raise the funds to keep giving the Josh Memorial Scholarships out. We give about $7,000 worth of scholarships a year. Okay. And to fill these requests that we get. Okay. So the scholarship would be for somebody in an emergency need? No, the scholarship. The Josh scholarships, there is a very Josh-like application that the kids fill out, and we have been able to give 2 $1,000 scholarships to Pearland High School, Dawson High School, a $1,000 scholarship to the Pace Center and to Turner High School. Oh, great. So we have been very fortunate the past 2 years. We've given altogether $14,000 worth of scholarships. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that is all by donation. Oh, great. Okay. Because Josh was really an academic He was scholar. A very academic my son knew that. He did scholar. Very well at his academics. He did. He liked to have fun. Yeah. And he liked to be the class clown, but when it came to academics and schoolwork, it was all business. Yeah. He started playing it for his 401k, I think, when he was 5. Oh, wow. So he was awesome. He was very interested in the future. College was just a huge dream of his. So to be able to help some other kids with some scholarship money for college would just make him so very happy. Yeah. So really this is a real mother talking because she knows her son and she knows what he would want to do as well and how to help others. And so that's just so inspiring that you can, you know, do this and still think about him and celebrate him and honor him, you know, for a long time. I mean, that's just such a great thing. I'm so glad it probably helps you deal with like missing him. It does. And, you have to take, sometimes you have to take the worst thing that could ever happen to you in the world and make it a positive somehow. And the best way, again, that I can think to honor his life and to use my time now is to make it a positive and help other people with it. Yeah. And that, you know, brings you satisfaction, joy. It does. Giving. And it helps me, again, when Josh passed, the support that we got from this community is something that I still think about on a daily basis, and it shocks me, it inspires me, it makes me happy, it makes me sad, all of that at one time. So again, to deal with the tragedy and to honor him, I give back to those that have taken care of me for the past almost 3 years since this happened. Okay. So that's a take-home message, I hope, for all of you. Like, you know, that's why the Barriers and Breakthroughs show is meant to help you know about what you could do. You know, you have challenges happen. There's breakthroughs that will help you get over it. And like, this is what if everybody did the same thing that Laurie's doing when you have a tragedy happen in your life? Do something positive for somebody else. I mean, our world would be such a different place. It certainly would. You never move on. I think that's something that everyone says, well, you'll move on from this. You never move on, but what you can do is move forward. And you just have to choose. It took a while. It didn't happen right away, but I had to choose, am I going to move forward by staying in bed every day and not able to get up? And it's a struggle to get up every day. Or am I going to move forward by pushing myself to get up and do something for someone else? Yeah. And that's what gets me through it. Great. Well, that's a great Christmas message. I hope for all of you, you know, like
get up, do something for someone else, and what do you feel in return? You probably feel like
you do, and it doesn't cost you anything to be kind and do something for someone else. Corny as that may sound, it is the truth.
Yeah,
it really is.
Really.
And if you have that giving spirit, give to the community where you live, where your kids go to school, where your kids' teachers live, where your church is. I mean, what better way to build up the community for your family and for other families?
Yeah. Plus, you help your kids. You're an example for your kids. It gets passed on through generations.
It certainly does.
As we see, and so why not? I mean, it's going to make our world a better place. So, anyway,
it really is.
Well, I'm so glad that you joined us, and I hope
you for having me.
I hope all of you have been inspired like I have, and I look forward to helping you with the Holiday Giving Project. I said that right?
You certainly did.
And
Thank you.
I'll keep reposting that so that those in the Pearland community especially can help. And
we need help from everyone.
Yeah.
To make this happen.
Okay, great. So they can get a hold of you. How?
www.pathofpearland.org.
Path of Pearland.
We also have a Facebook page, and it's Pearlanders Always There to Help. My personal page, it is kind of everywhere. I do think the school district have posted a few things about the Holiday Giving Project. There are about 35 businesses in Pearland right now that have toy bins that are collecting toys for the event.
Okay.
So don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah, look around when you're out shopping or you're going to businesses. Look for the. I saw one at the drink station.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Big supporter of ours, the drink station. He's great there. You can, Laurie Gray, you can find me on Facebook. I will answer any question. If you have a donation, I'll come pick it up. It is great. Yes.
Good. Okay. Well, get a hold of Laurie Gray, the PATH organization. Pearlanders Always There to Help. And that's what we love about Pearland, because we have a great community here. So have the giving spirit of Christmas and see what you can do to go out and help somebody else and support Laurie and her fabulous organization. So we'd like to thank you again, and I'm excited to help support you every year. So hopefully you'll hear a lot more, and I'll try and help get it out there as well. So,
all right, thank you.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Again, the Barriers and Breakthroughs show. We'll be seeing you next week, and I'm Rochelle Painbaum, the Pain Whisperer. Thank our sponsors, Racer's Edge. For those of you that are still with us, thank you for joining us, and go to Racer's Edge for a free hand deluxe car wash. Just mention Laurie Path on the Barriers and Breakthroughs show. And always, if you want to message me, if you have any kind of pain, I'd love to help you fix that, save you some money, and just help you out. So thank you again, and we'll be seeing you next week on the Barriers and Breakthroughs show.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.